system in place to keep us in chains. By a show of hands, who else is sick and tired of the same? 1% trying to keep us small, trying to keep us from getting out. Minimizing the struggles they've caused, saying we're not working hard enough.
Ladies and gentlemen, for the thousands in attendance and for the millions watching at home, DCK Productions proudly brings to you the greatest podcast in the world! The greatest podcast in the world? Suck it. No, you suck it. No, you suck it. No, you suck it. No, you suck it. I appreciate it if you both suck it. Suck it!
We really should stop this fighting. Otherwise we'll miss the fireworks.
There won't be any fireworks.
And here we go.
Welcome, everybody, to Suck It! I am the great and powerful King of Kings, Prince of all that is awesome, Derek. How is everybody tonight on this Monday, October 12th of the horrible year that has been 2020? So look, tonight's gonna be a little bit of a different episode. No guest as far as I'm aware. Because you know what? This is the week leading up to Thursday, which is episode 100. So you know what? I figured I would come on here tonight and give you guys a big thank you. You know, when this show first started, it was the second incarnation of what had begun. And tonight I'm going to give you the whole rundown of everything that occurred over the last 9 months, 10 months. And kind of, you know, give you a little bit of behind the scenes stuff and, you know, talk about everything that's kind of gone down and give a bunch of shout outs and a bunch of thank yous because it's well deserved and it needs to happen. And I'm kind of glad I get to do this on the week leading up to episode 100, which again is Thursday. So let's kind of start from the beginning and kind of tell you what transpired to get to this point. So back in December of last year, me and my buddy Cameron, my friend at the time, I don't know what's going on at this point. I haven't talked to him in months, and I've even reached out to him and unsuccessfully. And part of that's to my blame, and you'll find out here in a second. But anyway, back in December of last year, him and I, you know, we worked together at the time, and we were driving down for a conference to Richmond. So it's about a 2.5-hour drive. And the entire time there, we were just riffing back and forth, you know, ripping jokes, telling stories, yada, yada, yada. On the way back, same thing happened. However, then we got into controversies and, you know, conspiracies and all this other stuff. And we were just ripping back and forth and just having a good old fucking time. And at one point I said to him, I go, you know what, this would make a great fucking podcast. And he was like, yeah, you know, let's fucking do it. And we had talked about it and we had come up with an idea and, you know, said, this is what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and do it. Nothing happens for like a good month or so. We kind of forget about it. Don't really talk about it. And then one day we're at work again, and I said, "Hey, you know, you ready to do the show? Let's talk about it. Let's get this together." And he was like, "Sure." And you know, we started talking about it, and we came up with the name "Shut Up, Cameron," and that was the original name of the show. "Shut Up, Cameron." And because we were just sitting there riffing around, he made a stupid joke, and I just said, "Shut up, Cameron." And he goes, and he's kind of laughed. I said, "That's the fucking name of the show." And that's what it ended up being. And it was fucking hilarious. And when it first started, it ended up just being, you know, it was just him and I riffing back and forth and just telling jokes and being controversial and, you know, just going back and forth and just being funny. You know, it's what it was. It wasn't anything special. It didn't really have a format, didn't really have a conversation attached to it. It was just him and I bullshitting around and talking shit back and forth to each other, making jokes, me talking about how I want to fuck his wife and just stupid shit like that, just to get laughs and get a rise out of people and get a rise out of him. Just, say whatever I could to, again, be controversial. Then, he went through some personal stuff. I still don't know what really went down. To this day, I really don't. So I'm not going to speculate or anything like that. But, there was a couple instances where he got sick or just couldn't be on the show. And, it was just interesting. And, a couple times he no-showed the show, which was, again, not a big deal. I did a best of one time. I did this or I did that. And it was just no big deal. Fast forward to May, his birthday, May the 4th. And it's real simple to remember because it's May the 4th. And, we went to go do the show and I couldn't get a hold of him all day. And we ended up doing the show like really, really late at night that night. And then I'm not sure what happened, but just things just started to go downhill from there. Then Wednesday, he didn't do the show because at the time we were doing Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And at that point, I was like, I can't continue like this. This is something that I want to do. This is my career choice. This is where I want to be. I want to do nothing but do this. And I didn't feel like his heart was in it. And, but again, that was my opinion. Nothing he said, nothing he did. That was my perception of the situation. Whether it was, it's just one of those things. And he just actually texted me. Look at that. So I texted him earlier and I said, hey, I want to talk things out. Well, I'll get back to the story in a second, but I said, hey, I want to talk things out. I have episode 100 this Thursday of the show, and I feel like this would be perfect time to talk. And I said, and then he didn't answer me all day. And I said, hey, I just messaged him before the show started. I don't know if you answer me. I know you didn't answer me, and that's cool. But if you change your mind, I'll be here till 9:00. Here's the link. And he just texted me back. You have no idea how bad I want to, but I also think before Thursday we should kind of lay things out, just like you and I have some things. I have some things writing on this as well. All right, so I'm not sure what's going on. We'll see what happens over the next couple of days, but either way. So anyway, back to the story. So again, I didn't feel like his heart was in it. I didn't feel, connected about, the direction of the show and his commitment level and stuff like that. And without notice to him, without even talking to him at all, again, this is where it's on me. I immediately went on to some Facebook groups and I posted, hey, I want to co-host. Anybody out there willing to, chit chat? And one of the first people to reach out to me was this lovely, beautiful woman that everybody knows, Kat. Kat reached out to me and we started talking. And things were really good. We clicked really on a really cool level. Her and I chit chatted, and I asked her about her show because she had a show. She still has a show called The Teachable Soul, and her and I just kind of clicked. It was completely polar opposite of her show, and she liked the idea of what I was doing. So she was like, "Hey, I want to join the show. Let's do this." So I invited her on, and we had a couple, test trials and so on and so forth. All the while, again, I didn't even notify Cameron. And again, that's on me. That was a dickhead move. Completely on me. And I just, because again, I was so focused on growing this show and making it, the best damn show I possibly could and making a career out of doing this, that I just didn't care about anything else other than this show. And that's the honest to God truth. I just didn't care. I wanted to grow. I wanted to show the world that, damn it, I can do this. I can, be what I want to be and prove to the world that, damn it, I am good at this. I am good at what I do. And I know what I'm talking about. And, so I completely pushed Cameron to the side like a dick and invited Kat onto the show. Kat and I did 3 shows underneath the Shut Up Cameron banner. And then that following Friday, we introduced the world to the new concept for the show, Suck It Podcast. And Shut Up Cameron was no more. At that point in time, when I launched Suck It with Kat, shit got real between Cameron and I. He was pissed, rightfully so. Because again, I just kind of shoved him to the side and said, whatever, like an asshole. But again, like I said, I just didn't care, and so I didn't care about him or his feelings or anything else like that. I was just so focused on growing the show to get to the point where I'm at now. I mean, 600,000 listeners a month is fantastic, especially in less than a year. I'm stoked about what I've done with the show and where it's kind of gone. But I was just really focused on that, and I wanted to launch Suck It. So we did, and Shut Up Cameron was no more, and that pissed off Cameron. And him and I got into this huge argument about taking down the original show. He didn't want to be attached to it in any which way, shape, or form, get rid of the logo, all this stuff. And I did. I removed every episode but the last 3 that Kat and I did together of Suck It. Of Shut Up Cameron. And I removed them when they were gone. And that was pretty much it. That was pretty much the end of it. And I hadn't talked to him since. I told him I took everything down, and that was it. And we just moved forward with Suck It. And Suck It, pretty much with Kat and I, started out just like what Shut Up Cameron did. It was just her and I bullshitting back and forth, making jokes, talking about kids, talking about life, talking about mental health and all this other stuff, the stuff that I still talk about to this day, just without a co-host. I do this show solo now, and I do it. And that's why I interview people 5 nights a week, and I interview everybody from doctors and, fitness gurus to actors, actresses, musicians, you name it. I talk to them. I don't care. I want to talk to everybody. It's just what I do. But at the time it wasn't an interview show. Her and I had, didn't talk about interviews or anything like that. Until like a month later, we put a call out on this one Facebook group. Hey, we're looking for guests, whatever else. And a PR agent got a hold of us, and we talked to our first guests back at the end of May, or I can't remember exactly when, but our first guest on the show was a blogger, fashion model and stuff like that. Her name was Lisa Valerie Morgan. And that was we talked to her May 18th. So about 2 weeks after we started the show. And, again, we didn't really talk about guests or anything else like that. But we just kind of ended up doing it. So Lisa Valerie Morgan was our first guest. And then that kind of sparked something completely new. However, also in the meantime of all of this, I had also at the time started talking to another person by the name of Nicole. And her and I decided that we were going to just do a Saturday show based solely on music. We were going to talk to musicians, talk nothing but music, and that was going to be the show. And we called it Sex, Drugs, and a Whole Lot of Rock and Roll. Or No Sex, No Drugs, and a Whole Lot of Rock and Roll. Just kind of, playing around. So that's what we decided to do. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I was with Kat doing Suck It. And then Saturdays, I was doing No Sex, No Drugs, but a Whole Lot of Rock and Roll with Nicole. And it was a fun format, got to talk a little bit of everything, get to have 2 different experiences, 2 different co-hosts, and just, doing a lot of cool stuff with it. And it was really, really fun. I miss both of them more than you guys will know. Hell, I miss Cameron more than you guys know. And then we started getting guests all the time. And I was hooked up with my publicist, who's still my publicist to this day, and sent us on a course for success. And we started just taking these guests and getting guests. And it was amazing. Then about a month goes by. Let me make sure I get this timeline proper here. About a month goes by. Let's see here. So about a month and a half goes by, June 16th. So June 15th, I get a text from Kat. It was on Sunday. And she says, hey, this is just becoming too much for me. And I don't know if I can continue on with this. And her and I had a long discussion, and she just backed out of the show. Part of that was now all of a sudden, I'm getting, instead of having 3 conversations a week, they started asking us to do 5. So she couldn't commit to 5, which was fine. I was like, cool, let's go ahead and, intertwine Nicole and let's do this and do that. And she just felt overwhelmed with it regardless. And she completely backed down and just wanted to focus on Teachable Soul. That's fine. I get that. It was becoming a lot. It got hectic really fast. And I wanted to grow. And I was pushing the growth, doing everything I possibly could to grow. Notice the trend here. I take full responsibility. I do. Because again, I pushed her to the edge of where she was at. And, that's just kind of what happened. But again, I was so focused on growth. I just, so Nicole joined the show and, full time. Again, only supposed to be doing Monday, Wednesday, Friday. However, again, got thrown more interviews, more co-host, more guest stars and stuff like that on Thursdays and Tuesdays. And again, now we're doing shows 5 days a week. She couldn't do it either. Rightfully so. She was a musician. At the time, she is a musician, but at the time she was also doing event planning and stuff like that. Even though things were shut down, she was doing still a lot of different work because she worked for a major broadcast company out there. So she was still getting a lot of stuff done and a lot of work going on. And the show again was just a lot. And especially since she was in California, a 3-hour difference, me doing it at 8:00 every night, going live and blah, 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 cut into her schedule. And I tried to, negotiate with her and move it to 9 or whatever. And again, it was just too much. So at that point in time, I'm not even sure when that was. Let's see here. It was somewhere around the beginning of July. Yeah, it was somewhere around the beginning of July that I just took the mantle on myself. And I said, I'm doing this by myself. And it was a crazy ride. Because before, I had this person, whether it be Cameron, Nicole, Kat, to riff off of and not have to depend on having a guest every night. Because, it's cool. There's a lot of people out there that just do podcasts just like this every night or 3 nights a week or 1 night a week or once a month, whatever the case might be. They do shows just like this where they're just talking to you guys. And that's cool. That's what they do. That's their show. That's not me. It's not that I have to have somebody to riff off of, but at the same time, it's more fun for me that way. And I enjoy talking about a bunch of different stuff and getting opinions and being able to, make jokes based off of things that they say and kind of go back and forth. That's just who I am. I'm a conversational comedian, straight up. But it was difficult. And I'm sitting there, the first interview I did by myself, believe it or not, was actually DJ Kid Capri. And that was interesting. It was fun. It was difficult, but I got through it, and it was actually turned out being a great episode. If not for the technical difficulties I had at the very beginning, someone as big and famous as fucking DJ Kid Capri, my power went out and I lost internet connection for a moment, and I ended up being like 15 minutes late to the start of the interview, and it just was crazy. Luckily he was a gracious guy, completely understood and did it no problem. But that was kind of the start of what's going on now. And it was, again, it was really cool because thanks to my publicist, Holly, and then these two other fantastic people I've met who have just gone out of their way to make sure that I have a guest on the show or willing to write articles about me or whatever the case might be, and Eileen Shapiro and Jimmy Starr. So 3 players in the game that have reached out in order to make this show a success. And I can't thank them enough. It's so thrilling to have what I have here. Whether it be, you know, the experiences I had with on Shut Up Cameron and learning so much. I mean, that was that learning curve of, you know, we didn't follow the rules at all. We didn't pick a niche like they always say to do, or a niche, whatever they say. We didn't publish 8 episodes or 5 episodes at the very first time. We published 1. We didn't, you know, have a following at all. We just said, we're doing this, and we put it out there and prayed to God it worked. And it did. I mean, to be expected. I mean, when you first start a podcast and don't have a fan base, I mean, we were getting maybe 100 a night, 150 a night. I think at one point we got up to 1,000 per episode, which was great. I mean, I was really, really happy with that. Things were moving along just fine. But again, I wanted more. And if it wasn't for the past experiences and the people that I've met and talked to, I wouldn't have had these successes. You know, again, it's just the people that I've had on the show. It doesn't matter if it was Jimmy and Eileen. I've had them on the show before. If it doesn't matter if it was Cameron or Kat or Nicole or, you know, drummers, bassists, actors, actresses, you know, directors. Doesn't matter. Everyone's had a fantastic story to tell, and we've told that story and had a great fucking time doing it. However, along the way, I was greedy. I was pushy. I was eccentric for the right reasons, but I did it all the wrong way. Because again, I just had my heart set so badly on making this show a success. You know, and yeah, and I've said it before. I even said it this past Friday when I was talking to Grace in Space. You know, it's great when I go live and I have some, you know, people come into the chat room or I have some people watching me live. You know, that's all great. But, you know, YouTube is hard to do. Facebook Live is hard to do, especially with an hour-long show. Getting somebody to sit down on their phone or turn on YouTube and just watch something live or whatever the case might be. It's not exactly the easiest thing to do, especially when I go an hour and a half sometimes. But the podcast, on the other hand, you know, smooth sailing. People get in their car, drive to work, listen on the way home, listen on the way there, yada, 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 with on the lawn, whatever the case might be. And people have started to do that 30 to 40,000 times a day. And that's miraculous for me. To see those numbers, to see those things happen, it's just, I don't want to say it's been worth it. Because again, there has been some trials and tribulations. You know, stuff that went down with Cameron was a lot. My wife and my best friend, Maddie, both said I was a dick for what I did. And they were 100% accurate on that. But again, it was all about growing this show into what it is today and the aspirations I have for it in the coming year, in the next 5 years. However, you know, actions have repercussions. I lost a good friend in the process, someone I've known for 3 years. I lost another, as far as that was Cameron. As far as Kat goes, her and I had a great connection. And I'm so lucky that her and I are still friends today. And every Monday we do a show together at noon. It's either the mental health hour like we did today, or we started doing a supernatural type, podcast we're doing every other week. So it's an alternating thing every other week now. And I'm glad I get to have that with her. And I'm glad I get to just text her and talk to her whenever I can. And she's still a huge advocate for the show. She's still a huge part of my life as far as, a friend goes. My wife and her are good friends. I talk to her almost every day, and it's just phenomenal about the things that I've had because of Kat. I haven't talked to Nicole much since she left the show, but I hope she's doing well. I still follow her on Instagram and everything like that, and she seems like she's doing well. But again, the way things all went down could have been different. But at the same time, I can't sit here and say it was the wrong thing or the right thing. It was definitely dickish, but was it the right thing or the wrong thing? And let me say this, without the things that have happened, would I be here right now doing it solo? Would I have the stature of guests that I've had? Would I have the listens that I have? Would I've met the people that I've met? I was just on another show today, which hopefully will be up in the next couple of days. A show called Movie Reviews and More. And I've had an invitation to come back on there, and I'm going to be on another show out of Florida here in the next couple of weeks. I think that's the 29th. And still more to come. But when I look back at it, again, was it the right thing to do? I don't know. I could have done it a better way. Absolutely. I could have been more professional, I guess you could say. But at the same time, I don't know what would have transpired otherwise. I really don't. I just know that if it wasn't for the things that occurred, I wouldn't be here today. But at the same time, it could have been done differently. All right. With that being said, we'll take a quick break, and we'll come right back to it. So, tonight's episode is brought to you by BetterHelp. BetterHelp is an app that allows you to be anywhere in the world, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, to contact a therapist anywhere. If you're having a down day, just be able to pick up your phone and text, or just, want to chat or something. Your BetterHelp therapist is there for you whenever you need them. Plus, you also have the opportunity to do weekly, video chats and therapy sessions. BetterHelp cuts out the middleman of having you go on to your website of, insurance, finding a therapist that, again, meets the needs of what you want, and then having to call them, set up an appointment, and wait 2 or 3 weeks to go sit in a waiting room for an hour, to sit there and talk to them, and then realize after all that time, they're not right for you. BetterHelp avoids all that. If you don't like your therapist, you can ask for another one. Within days, you're matched up to somebody that, is going to be right for you. You tell them exactly what you want, exactly what you need. And then all these therapists sit there and say, I can talk to them, or no, I don't. And then they go back and forth, and then it happens. And you get matched up, and then you can switch. You can do whatever you want to do. But again, the best thing about it is they're there for you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, whenever you need them. BetterHelp is amazing. So please go to www.betterhelp.com/SIPod. Again, that's SIPod, as in Suck It Podcast, SIPod, for 10% off your first month. Again, that's www.suckitpodcast. Excuse me, I'm wrong on that. www.betterhelp.com/SIPod for 10% off your first month. Trust me when I say BetterHelp is the best thing out there, and you cannot go wrong. Again, go to www.betterhelp.com/SIPod to sign up and get 10% off your first month. All right, so back into it there. So thank yous. Again, I mentioned her before. Holly. What can I say about Holly? She is fantastic. And I don't know where I would be without her. She took a chance on me, and I took a chance on the show. Her first guest that she ever sent us was when Kat was still around. Her name was Eugenia Kuzmina. And Eugenia is, I'm sure you've heard of her, or if not, you can Google her. You'll figure out who she is really quick. Is a supermodel / comedian / actress. She's also married to the CEO of Paramount. And she's just an awesome human being. But for us to get her right out of the gate, I'm talking at the time, shit, we were barely getting 1,000, 1,500 per day, maybe somewhere in that ballpark. But Holly took a chance on us and took a chance on this show and said, hey, we're going to give you this person. And the next thing I know, she's saying, oh, you're going to get DJ Kid Capri. You're going to get this person. You're going to get this person. And all of a sudden it's like, holy crap. And it's been amazing. Holly, if you're listening, I love you so much. Thank you so much for everything you've done for me in the show. And I definitely would not be here without you. No way in hell. For someone to take a chance on me like that was pretty weird. This business is finicky. And it's a fickle beast. And people will tell you have it. People will tell you go find something else to do. And real quick in this business, because if they don't see money in you, they will kick you to the curb. And I don't know why Holly sees anything in me. I'm a pain in the ass. But she does, and she has. And for everything she's done for me since June. No, May. Thank you. I can't say that enough. Thank you. The second set of thank yous I want to give to is to Eileen Shapiro and Jimmy Starr. Jimmy Starr is a publicist, again, another one. An actor. He's been in almost every single Marvel movie. He has his own Marvel Wikipedia page. Lots of bit parts and just, he's been in a bunch of stuff, and he's just a really cool guy. He hosts his own show on Wednesdays called The Jimmy Starr Show with Ron Russell. Ron is his husband. But those two took a chance on me as well. In July, they set me up with 2 weeks, 10 different people, full of their people, of all their clients. And everyone from Scott Page of, Pink Floyd fame to Rocky Kramer to, just these amazing people that they gave me and to have on my show. And it was thrilling, to say the least. The interview with Rocky Kramer, I think, got like 3,000 YouTube 3,000 YouTube views. Just phenomenal. Something like that. And like 30,000, 35,000. It's the first time I ever broke that many on the podcast, which is crazy. And again, they've taken a chance on me. And even around that same time, Eileen shot me a email and said, hey, fill out this questionnaire for me, and I'm going to publish it. And I was like, what? Somebody's going to publish an article on me? And she did. And I was shook. I was floored. I was beyond, grateful that somebody took a chance on me again and put their name on it and published it. And I had an article about me out there, talking about my past experiences, talking about how I got to this point and just all this cool stuff. And I was like, holy crap. Again, thank you. If I don't have a guest or whatever the case might be, I can call up Jimmy and Eileen anytime and just like, hey, do you have anybody for me? And they're like, yeah, got you. Again, without Jimmy and Eileen and without Holly, I would not be where I am today. Second to none. These people are just amazing to me. And I can't thank them enough. It's because of, because of Jimmy and Eileen, I've talked again to, Scott Page of, Pink Floyd fame, and, Leland Sklar, someone who played, bass for, Billy Joel and all these cool fucking people. Has 2,500 music credits to his name. I've talked to great musicians. I've talked to great actors and actresses, and it's just mind-boggling the things that I have done because of those three people. And I'm just floored. So, if you are in the mood, in the market for publicists at all, please reach out to Jimmy Star, Eileen Shapiro, World Star PR, or Holly Davidson at I Connect You Today. The choice is yours, but they're all phenomenal. They're phenomenal. And I cannot thank any of them enough. Kat. What can I say? When I lost her as a co-host, I was lost for, a little bit there. It was 24 hours of confusion and nuts. But you know what? She kept saying to me, you can do this. You can do this. You can do this. And I didn't believe her. And that's why I reached out to Nicole and said, hey, you want to come on full time? Because I did not trust Kat that I could do this on my own. But she kept pushing me. And then when Nicole decided to leave the show, I had no other choice. It was either find another co-host and risk having that happen again, or just do it on my own. And I did. And I am so grateful that happened the way it did. Kat has been a rock to me since May, when the whole debacle started with the whole Shut Up Cameron, Suck It podcast conversion. And she's had a lot of great show ideas. She's, convinced me on this. She's talked to me about that, and just been someone I could definitely lean on in ways I just can't even imagine. When I told her, hey, let's just do one show a week together. It's something, not Suck It podcast. It's something completely different. Let's have a little fun. And, she was up for it. And we've been doing the mental health hour / Kat and Derek's Tales of the Supernormal for a couple months now. And it's been great. Every Monday we get together and just talk mental health, or we've had guests on the show. We've talked to, my brother. It's just been fantastic. We talked to a good friend of mine who's a psychic / medium, William Constantine. We've talked everything about religion to suicide prevention and all this other stuff. And it's just been phenomenal. It's just been one of those things that, again, if it wasn't for Kat, I would not have continued on. So thank you. And I'm glad to be able to have you at least as a co-host one day a week. Nicole. Her and I only worked together for a short time. However, it was because of her, my love of music was reignited in ways that I just couldn't imagine. When she ended up leaving the show, I ended up combining the whole concept of no drugs, no sex, no drugs, but a whole lot of rock and roll, in with the whole concept of, suck it, and made it just one complete show. And now it's, now, as you know, it's all music, it's all movies, it's all this, it's all that. It's a little bit of everything. It's a complete compilation of everything. And she gave me that first nudge into something different. And I'm sorry things didn't work out with her. Her and I had a great chemistry as well. We talked back and forth and we bullshitted, and it was just funny. We could always, whatever. And it was fantastic. Hell, her and I I think our birthdays like 2 days apart. Hers is like April 7th and mine's April 9th. And we had even talked about next year. And I'm still down for this too, Nicole, if you're listening, to do like a cross party, where her band performs and I do stand up and out in California, which would be great. And, do a show out there together or whatever. And I'm still down to do that. Absolutely. I would love to be able to do that with her. I have no ill will to her at all. Again, I was just a victim of circumstances. Again, I wanted more and she couldn't give it to me. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. It was her decision to leave the show. I had nothing to do with that, except for my decisions as far as that goes, because I wanted 5 guests a week. I wanted to do 5 days a week. I wanted to do this. I wanted to do that. And she just couldn't give me the time. And that's fine. It's a lot, especially when we first started out. There was no money. There was very little fame, if any at all. It was just a love of doing what we were doing. And to get somebody to dedicate 5 days a week to this for free. I mean, it's a lot to ask of anybody. Hell, it was a lot to ask of myself. It was a lot to ask of my wife to allow me to be able to do this. And that's cool too. But Nicole, thank you. You and I did have a great time. We got to talk a lot of music. We got to talk a lot of, things, and it was a lot of fun. So thank you. Cameron, if it wasn't for you, none of this would be possible. You came up with the idea. I mean, helped come up with the idea, helped come up with the name, started the whole thing out. And I'm sorry things didn't work out. I'm sorry I was a dick. Just the way it ended up things going. But again, if it wasn't for you, things would not be where they're at today. And I just want to say thank you. And I hope that you and I can figure things out and be friends again, at least. And I'd love to have you on the show to really kind of talk things out and hash things out the way we should have. About a month or two ago, I did a 24-hour stream. And he came on into the YouTube comments and was commenting and stuff like that and said, hey, come on. Unfortunately, during that stream, I had a therapy session. So my wife was doing, some, chatting on that 24-hour stream. And, that's when Cameron came in. And by the time I got back, he couldn't talk. I just wanted to be straightforward and honest. I could have done things differently and I could have done things better. And I apologize for that. But again, if it wasn't for you and your dedication to this, I wouldn't be where I'm at today. And the show wouldn't be where it's at today, and so on and so forth. And again, I say thank you. And I hope that you and I can figure this stuff out. To my wife, what can I say? No one has believed in me more than her. Back in July, when I lost my job, And I said, I'm dedicating my life to this. This is it. I'm not doing anything else. I'm doing this. This is it. I can make this work. I can make this work. I can make this work. She believed in me. She stood by me. And through all the doubt, through everything like that, she she stood by me and took a lot of shit that she didn't have to. You know, she took on being the sole owner of the house, to allow me to live out a dream of becoming an entertainer, not a podcaster. I'm an entertainer. You know, I run an entertainment show. It's a podcast, but it's also a live show, and it's this and that. But I cannot thank her enough for allowing me to get to this point. Because at any point in time, she just said, you know what? Go get a job. Do something. We can't afford for you to continue to do this. We can't, you know, and she never did. Yeah, a couple times she wanted to. And she almost pulled the trigger a couple times. But she never did. And she stuck by me. And has been the driving force of this going forward. And I don't know what else to say. Except for I love you and thank you. You know, through everything that's happened, through everything I've done for the show and other things like that, it's to have the group of people that I have surrounded myself with, you know, and the great people that I've met that I now can call friends, you know, whether it be Twism, whether it be William Constantine, whether it be Brian Sebastian of Movies, Reviews, and More, Sherry Nelson, you know, all these great people, Mark Gordon, all these great people that I can call friend and say, you know, thank you to, is unbelievable. To every guest that has ever been on this show, thank you for putting up with me. Thank you for putting up with my antics, my bullshittery, my sometimes off-color jokes. It's all in fun. It's all in, you know, faith, good faith. And it's all for the sake of a laugh. I have been doing this now for nearly 10 months. And because of the way things have gone and the belief in people that have, you know, things have done for me and so on and so forth, taking the show from 20 to 25 listeners when we first very first started to now 30 to 40,000 a day. And I can't be more appreciative. I can't. To the listeners on their way to your work right now, on the way home from work, whatever the case might be, thank you. I have no idea why you've stuck around to listen to my dumbass for this long. Maybe I'm funny. Maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm informative. Maybe I'm not. Or maybe you're just here to listen to the guest and you mute every time I start talking. I don't know. But thank you. So, the future. What's going to happen? Well, I'll tell you what's going to happen. Within the next year, my plan is to go bigger. What do you mean by that, Derek? I'm glad you asked. I want to take this show and do something that I don't believe anyone else has ever done before, with the exception of a handful of people. I want to make this into a self-made Tonight Show type vibe. Okay. Now, I don't want to, obviously have that format. I'm not that type of person. I'm still going to come on here in jeans and a t-shirt every day, whatever the case might be. I say that a lot, don't I? Whatever the case might be, but whatever. I don't care. I'm like Turk. Know what I'm saying? But anyway, I want to have a full in-house band. I want to be able to bring on bands more. I want to have live in studio guests. I want to have a full studio layout. I want to do things a little bit differently. I want to take all the best elements of the Tonight Show, the Late Show, the Late Late Show, this and that, and then combine it with elements of the Rogan Show and Stern and all the great shows out there, and combine them into something that is different and interesting and nothing like ever been seen before. Imagine if Stern and Rogan had a baby and he hosted the Tonight Show. Unfiltered, uncensored, kind of thing. That's kind of what I want to do. And it's going to be amazing. That's my goal for the next year. Sometime by the next summer, I want to have that going. Then at that point, probably won't be able to go live because there's going to be a lot of editing and stuff like that. But it's still going to be an 8:00 show. It's still going to be going the way it has been, Monday through Friday, 5 nights a week. Might record 2 episodes in a day. However, whatever ends up being the case, depending on guests and how the band works out and so on and so forth, and whatever the case might be. But that's the goal for this show. Within the next year, maybe I debut it with episode 200. Who knows? But that's what I want to do. I want to make this the best show on the internet. I want to make the YouTube channel as big as the podcast. Maybe Twitch viewing is going to go up too. I don't know, but I want to make this show as fun live and on video as it is on the podcast. Give somebody a reason to watch it. Because right now, I get why people don't watch it live, or I get why people don't watch me on YouTube, because it's just me talking and maybe a guest on there. There's no real video incentive to watch, except you can watch me make hand motions and my funny faces or whatever the case might be. There's no real incentive to watch, which I get that. I don't do, crazy things here and there. I mean, occasionally I do, but I'll show other videos and stuff like that, but there's no real incentive to watch, which I get. But for those who do watch and put up with watching my face right now, thank you. I appreciate it. But it's going to get even better. And that's the plan for the next year. And that's exactly how it's going to go down. No question in my mind. And because of people like Eileen Shapiro and Jimmy Starr and Holly Davidson, it's going to happen. Because of you guys, it's going to happen. And yeah. Again, everyone I've mentioned tonight, thank you. The best is yet to come. The best is yet to come. You ain't seen nothing yet. And it all starts Thursday. Thursday. Be here live if you so choose to be. And I appreciate it if you are. Because I will have giveaways. I will have surprise guests. Kat will be joining me as a co-host that night to celebrate episode 100. Maybe Cameron. But it's going to be fun. It's going to be exciting. Huge guests. I'm not letting the cat out of the bag at all. But it all starts Thursday, episode 100. And then I'm probably going to take Friday off and start back next Monday with episode 101. I'm working on a new intro. I'm working on some new graphics. There's a lot of stuff I'm working on to ring in the next 100. And then hopefully, if everything works out, maybe episode 200, I'll reinvent the show with the new concept that I just mentioned. If not, maybe episode 250. But either way, next year, that will happen. It will happen. Again, just wait and see. Jimmy Kimmel, Jimmy Fallon, Colbert, Conan. I'm coming. The show is coming. And I'm coming hard because I'm going to do things that the networks won't let you do. I'm going to do things that are going to be fun. It's going to be exciting. And I'm going to do things again that you guys can't do because the networks won't let you. And that's, and that's why Conan has a podcast, because he can do things that he doesn't want it, that the network won't let him, TBS won't let him do. And that's fine. But what I'm going to do is something that you guys can't. And I'm coming. Kimmel, Fallon, Colbert, Seth Meyers, James Corden, I'm coming. You guys will have some new competition next year. Show name will probably change. Or maybe in addition to. And Suck It Podcast will still live on, but something else will come of it. Who knows? I haven't decided yet. But I know that concept is coming. I know it's coming. It is coming. 100%. I don't know it's coming. It is coming. But until then, you've been warned. Better up your game, because I'm coming. And I'm not trying to take viewers. I'm never going to take viewership away from the Tonight Show. I'm never going to take viewers away from the Late Show. No, it'll be in addition to. But the point is, competition's fun. And, for me to set a goal to where I want to compete with Jimmy Fallon is very advantageous. But I'm going to do it. Fallon, I'm coming. I'm coming. I'm coming. Thank you guys so much for 97 episodes. Episode 100. Thursday. I cannot believe I can say that. 100 episode Thursday. Giveaways. Surprise guests. Co-hosts coming back. It's going to be fucking amazing. But until then, tomorrow night, I have rapper Tyke T on the show with me. Come back tomorrow, 8 p.m. East, 5 p.m. West for Tyke T. And much more before Thursday. But until tomorrow, stay happy, stay healthy, and as always, stay heavy. Guys, I can't thank you enough. I appreciate you. I love you. See you tomorrow. Peace.